And welcome back to the Arizona Cardinals 20-year rebuild. Here today, we will be going through year number 3. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I hope you're all having a great day. Please leave a like, comment down below what you thought of today's action, and don't forget to subscribe. As year 2 was just the complete opposite of year 1. Between record-wise, team play-wise, everything just went wrong for the Cardinals. We currently sit and we now hold, after a 5-2 record or a 5-12 record, we hold the 3rd overall pick in this up and coming draft class. We saw during the season I made the decision to bench Kyler Murray for, at the time, rookie quarterback Sammy Leonard. And as we're entering into this postseason, I am making a decision that I don't know if a lot of you will be too happy about, but we're moving off of Kyler Murray. I'm looking to trade the 30-year-old quarterback. You know, after 9 years here in with the Cardinals, Murray has put up some solid seasons in his youth and injuries as well. For us, he has looked okay at best. I like year 1, he was fantastic. Just the turnovers were a problem. He kind of fixed the turnovers, but he couldn't score. The offense struggled, and I felt that we got better around him. We brought in Rashad White here. We brought in Elijah Moore. Our receivers were all developing, and I think he kind of forced our tackles, who we also brought in Trent Brown. And, you know, I think that these numbers for the offensive line is on Murray. He took a lot of sacks, in my opinion. Now, sure, our defense was young. We drafted 2 young defensive players. And unfortunately, our defense didn't prove much of anything. We could not get to the quarterback. And turnover-wise, it was also pretty difficult. But from a year ago, we drafted Timmy Brable here. We also drafted his brother as well. And he's developing very nicely for us. You know, he's looked good out there for us. Let me try to find his brother real quick for you guys. Now, Marcus Brumble, 2nd year as well, also developing pretty nicely. 18th best safety, at free safety at least. So a couple of our draft picks are developing pretty nicely. Our first ever selection in this rebuild was Blake Sherwood here, 24 years old, and you know, the run blocking power will work on, but as a solid offensive lineman that he is, he can play both guard and tackle, and I really like that about him. So, if you guys are, first of all, if you're new to my channel and these videos, this is an experiment on my end. We start with an off season, and then we sim throughout the season, and then we end either on, either at the Super Bowl, or if we don't make it to the Super Bowl, then we end the video. So, what are we going to do now with $102 million? We have still contracts to go through, and we know that we're looking to move off of Murray. We also have the 3rd overall pick. So, in my eyes, I think that we should go down the road of doing one or two things. Drafting a rookie and saying that to Leonard Shepard that, hey, thank you for your time. You know, you're going to be an excellent backup for us. And we basically trade Murray for a late 1st round selection, and we go in that direction. Or we take Murray and try to trade him and get a proven quarterback asset to the roster. That's the road that I want to go down. But to let you guys know, I am not going to be trading away the 3rd overall pick. That pick is staying with us because I think in this draft class, there's a lot of blue chip talent. You know, I'm going to point some out for you guys. Greg Jefferson here. I think he's a very intriguing tackle. He looks to be a good athlete, probably elite strength. I see A's everywhere. And sure, the run blocking, we might have to, you know, there is still kind of a range, but I see too many A's to sit here and say that Jefferson won't be good. Another player is Mike Pittman here, who is a safety, but A zone coverage, B hit power, elite potential speed. You know, he's another one of those blue chip players in my eyes. Orlando Thomas, another defensive back, but A man, A press, B zone, 6'3", elite to a great speed. You gotta love to see that. And then the final really intriguing player, I believe, is, yes, Josh Hayward here, who's expected to go later, but a hybrid strong safety with A zone coverage. Looks to be a solid athlete across the board. And the hit power might need to get a little bit more information on. But regardless, I went through the draft, or this mock draft, and I did not see a quarterback go in the top 10. I didn't see a quarterback go, I believe, until right around 20-ish. Yeah, Brad Stanley here. Where the Seattle Seahawks do need a quarterback. And Brad, in my opinion, is the best quarterback in this class. He would be the only one that I would select or consider selected in the first round. Now, there is another universe where we still train Murray, we get a pick for him, and we're going to go with the second-year quarterback, Sammy Leonard. That is still a real possibility, but it's kind of like the last bit of resort. So let's go through the re-signing phase of this team. We have $102 million. We have a couple fifth-year options to work out, but we still have some pretty important contracts. Brian Perceived, a player that I traded for, who's young and someone that I would like to keep. Mac Wilson here, our best linebacker. He needs a new contract. Sean Martin Bunting. And, you know, the more pressing is the offensive line. Fort Hood here, he's due to a new contract. Same thing with Trent Brown, Evan Brown, Will Hernandez. That's four starting caliber linemen all hitting the market. And I'm going to let them all test. You know, all these guys here, I am letting them all test. For Darius Robbins here with his fifth-year option. Now, another side note, guys, we are changing schemes. We're moving from a 3-4 defense to a 4-3. So Robinson has been kicked to defensive tackle. And, you know, he's had one very good year. That was on the edge, keep in mind. With Robbins, I don't want to let any starting caliber players go just yet that are this young. So we're going to be keeping Robinson on the fifth-year option. Our safeties, we're going to let all test. Same thing with Davenport. Mac Wilson here, it's so interesting because he's 29 years old, star development, and I don't know if we could really find a better starting caliber linebacker out in free agency. And it's tough to sit here and say maybe I would prefer a 2-year deal if he would come back on that, and he does. So Mac Wilson re-signs. He was a player that I wanted to keep. And to let you guys know, Marvin here, we're going to pick up his fifth-year option, absolutely. Brian Bercese, 25 years old. He wants right around $12 million this season. He is a player that I want to keep around. You know, he's right now the 31st ranked defensive tackle, 25. He only wants a 2-year deal. We might have to overpay a bit, but I think Brian here would be a very good starting caliber defensive tackle for us. So I'm going to leave us with $80 million, a 2-year, $27 million. Let's see, and he resigns. So we're going to head open free agency now with $80 million. We're going to let a lot of players walk, and we're going to see what moves we can make. And this is the current state of the team right now. As you guys can see, we have 2 X-Factor receivers. We drafted a superstar fullback in, I believe, yeah, Nick Thompson here, who's already the best fullback in the league. You know, that's our head coach, who played fullback for the Atlanta Falcons series. But I don't think we need to focus on offensive weapons. I do think getting some more offensive line help is important. And then defensively, I think maybe another edge rusher. But honestly, with the re-sign of Mac Wilson, it kind of puts me in a position where I really only want to add depth to this defense. I don't think we need to go super crazy trying to we have young players that we're trying to develop and see what they can become, especially in the front seven. I mean, every single one of these guys, I believe, is younger than 25 years old. So at the end of the day, guys, you know, I think this is going to be figuring out the quarterback and figuring out this offensive line. So let's go try to make this trade that I've been talking about a little bit and see if we can maybe change this franchise for the best. And we just pulled it off. We have traded away Kyler Murray, Elijah Moore, a current second-round pick, a fourth and a sixth, and a next year's first to trade for Justin Herbert. This is the quarterback that I wanted to go get on a team that, you know, I wanted to change this team's course of actions. Justin immediately becomes our best player. And at only the age of 29, we'll change his number to number 10. But he becomes instantly a captain. He's a top 10 quarterback in this league. Great throw power. He can do a little bit of everything for you. And he has 3 years left on his deal. He's coming off of a very solid campaign. And these are very workable money that we can handle. But we just gave ourselves, in my opinion, a franchise quarterback. For the Chargers, we give them Kyler Murray, who, you know, he could be a solid starter for the next handful of seasons for them. But I think we upgraded. I think this is a very fair trade for both teams. They get a first and a second and a couple later round picks and Elijah Moore. And we get ourselves a franchise quarterback. So let's see if we can help him out. Here in open free agency, now we have $64 million because most of the money is going to Justin Herbert. But as you guys can see, Sam Lapora, Tyler Linderbaum, Tyreek Hill, Rodney Stanley. There is talent out here in free agency. And I see some solid offensive linemen. So I'm going to go try to add a couple of them at least. And I have a few targets here in free agency, still $40 million. But of course, we're going to go try to get Tyler Linderbaum, trying to offer him a big contract to come here. Juice Sprung's here, solid guard, and trying to bring back Evan Brown. Really focusing on the interior of this offensive line to make decisions. Evan Brown resigns, Linderbaum goes to the Bears. So we also see Rodney Stanley go, and the second best center also goes. So and now Juice here, he's getting some more contracts, and so we're gonna kind of withdraw from this and try to reassess a little bit. Okay, still going after Juice here, just gonna raise the contract. Aaron Brewer, gonna try to bring him in here for a couple seasons. And Dave Edwards here. These are not the best offensive linemen, but they will at least be band-aids for the next handful of seasons. We get all three. So I'm now gonna sim to the next week. We still have about $40 million, and next week we'll try to make some more signings, just adding some quality depth. Targeting some more depth here, starting with probably the big offer in Carlton Davis here. We're gonna go after Christian McCaffrey, try to bring back Elijah Moulton here. Christian Harris will be a solid depth at linebacker, and Tart, another re-sign potential. So not trying to go too crazy here, but it looks like we got a lot of the players. So welcome to the team, Carlton Davis, who will be immediately our number 3 corner. I thought that McCaffrey could come in here and be a solid, just a solid back on the roster. Moulton here and Harris and Tart will all probably be depth type of players, but overall, I would say this is a solid free agency period. Let's move to the draft. And currently, this is the state of the team. We've added offensive linemen in the interior to help us out. You know, we still we could potentially add another receiver if we really wanted to. And then defensively, we added some quality depth across the board. You know, bringing in Carlton Davis. Tart comes back, bringing in Christian Harris. Overall, guys, we are in a position where I think we are good, solid team. But there is one player that I want to go get in this draft class, and I'm not gonna wait. I'm gonna try to move up to number 1 with the 3rd pick and see what we can do. Las Vegas, let's make a deal. I tried to make the deal, it did not work. I don't have a next year's 1st or a current 2nd, so I'm not looking to trade away completely our future right now. And so with that being said, we're gonna let the draft kind of play. The Raiders, with the 1st pick, will go, I think, Joey Anderson, a pass rusher. We could try to trade here with the Steelers. Let me offer them the same deal that I offered the Raiders, just to move back 1 spot. Well, the Steelers aren't working with me either. Again, I'm not looking to trade away my next year's 2nd round pick. I need future. So will the player go? And Greg Jefferson does go. He was the guy that I wanted. So this now puts me in a very interesting position. Because I said this, I think that there's 4 very good players in this draft class. Jefferson, in my eyes, was the best. So who's my 2nd best player? And am I really gonna sit here and draft him? That's really the question, because in my opinion, I think Orlando Thomas is the next best player on the board. A's and B's across the board. He's an elite athlete. I don't need, I think the injury might be low, but Orlando Thomas, I think he's just the best player on the board. Welcome to the Arizona Cardinals. This is not a need for the team. He is the 2nd best player in the class. This is not a need for us. But best player available, we got him. 95 speed, 94 acceleration, normal development, that hurts. But we now have our future in our secondary. We have drafted a very good free safety, strong safety, or a corner, a couple very good corners, and I think long-term wise, we don't have to really worry about our secondary too much as of right now. But we don't pick until the 3rd round, so I'm gonna just sim ahead and let the draft kind of takes its course. And here in the 3rd round, I think we just need to add some defensive tackle depth. Dalton Fenderson will be the selection. He's a projected 2 to 3 round talent, and he's 44th ranked, hidden development. So we got ourselves a very nice young defensive tackle piece for this defense. We're gonna take Joey Douglas here, who's a center. I have 2 offensive linemen still on my board that I like. He's ranked 46, also has hidden development. So Joey might become a starter. I might take the other offensive lineman, who's another center. These guys might be moved around to guard. Well, the other offensive lineman went in the 4th round, so we're gonna go with Debris here. Safety, he might move to strong safety just for depth purposes. 91 speed, and this is a bad selection on my end. But Debris will be the pick here in the 4th round. We have a couple later round selections to also make. Wade Rayfield here in the 5th round will be the selection of wide receiver. 38th ranked on the board, hidden development as well. We just might draft an underrated receiver. Well, I have no more players on my board, so I'm going to be trading for a future asset for next year. And yeah, I'm going to trade away our remaining picks and try to get an asset for next year. Sending our remaining 2 picks to the Jags for next year's 5. I think this was a solid draft class. I mean, no, I did not get the player entering into the class. I did not get the player that I wanted. I wanted Greg Jefferson due to the fact that I felt he could truly solidify our offensive line. Instead, I had it to go in the direction of drafting a corner who I think is very good, and he is. Orlando Thomas is an 82 overall hidden or normal dev corner. Already very good. Injury, though, is a concern. But Orlando Thomas solidifies our secondary probably for the next 5 years, or potentially for most of this rebuild. Darnell Fenderson here, in my opinion, was the best player on the board. Good run-stopping defensive tackle. We'll get him chances to be on the field. And then Joey Douglas here. Only drafting one offensive lineman was not in my game plan whatsoever. But Joey here is a very good pass pro, and we'll develop him. He'll probably be a day one starter for us. I missed on the pick here with Dupree, 64 overall. Not a very good selection, but we ended the class with a very intriguing rookie receiver in Wade Renfield here. Hidden dev, slot archetype, 91 speed, 80 short route running, day one. Yeah, we might have just found ourselves a very good receiver. So, potentially from day one, we potentially could have 4 starting young caliber players. When we look at, I don't know why I went this way. When we look at the draft, Greg Jefferson was also an 82 overall, but an offensive lineman that comes in like this with hidden development, already the 12th best left tackle in the league. This is the reason I wanted to get him. And it's unfortunate that we couldn't. I bet if I know I could have thrown in my next year's second round pick, and we could have had ourselves, solidified our offensive line for Justin Herbert. But at the end of the day, I just could not go into next year without a first and without a second. And in this class, the 4 players I pointed out to you guys are all very good, all 80 and above. We could have drafted a future strong safety here in Josh Hayward. I just, I really like Budda Baker. I just did not see myself drafting him. And then for the other, and Mike Pittman here, who I guess could have moved to strong safety as well. And yeah, maybe in terms of future, Mike would have been a better pick than Orlando, strictly because of the fact that I don't know if we're going to keep Budda Baker long term. Maybe he might be on the team for another season or so. But either way, what do you think of the draft? But we have now a regular season to go through now with Justin Herbert at the helm. So let's get to week 1, and then we'll start simming, as this will be the roster for year number 3. We have a new quarterback here in Justin Herbert. And let me quickly change his number to number 10, or at least close to it. I don't think he would wear number 17. Let's make him wear currently 11 because Larry Fitzgerald, why not? But Justin Herbert, new franchise quarterback on the team. We've helped him out, and he comes to a roster right now with both Marvin Harrison Jr., Michael Wilson, Trey McBride, with a couple quality backs here and some young receivers that we're developing in Zachary Moore and rookie receiver Rayfield, who is going to miss the first 5 weeks of the season, though. So, regardless, we have very much talent here at this in the offensive weapons. We brought back Evan Brown, Aaron Brewer. We brought in David Edwards. We drafted a young guy. So we've addressed the offensive line slightly. This is my major concern, and this is the positional group that could potentially hold us back. Flipping it over to the defense, our front 4, we're going youth with them. Mike Haynes leads the way for our front, for our defense, and I'm hoping that he can get back to the pass rusher that we paid him to be. We also brought back Mike Wilson here for the off-ball linebacker spot, and I'm hoping that he can very much help us out. We have a very young and deep secondary, especially at corner. So we'll see. Year 3 will be very interesting, especially as we start a new era. Here with Justin Herbert, can he beat the Cincinnati Bengals here in week 1? And he can, 31-28. That's what you love to see. Let's get past the San Francisco game, and then we'll reevaluate the team. And the current state of the team, as we've played 5 games so far here in year 3, we're 2-3. We've lost. We started off the year hot, winning the first 2 games, and then we've now been on a massive losing streak. You know, this is, I haven't seen any injuries popped up. So what's happening in the first month of this season? Is the offensive line play? Is it Justin Herbert? Herbert's off to a slow start, at least in terms of yardage, but 8 touchdowns, 3 picks. He's taken only 6 sacks so far. Not really trying to run the football. Kind of want to change that a little bit. Receiving wise, you know, we're seeing our top 3 playmakers making plays, and no one else really is. Offensive line wise, I can't really blame them. Is it this defense that's kind of holding us back? We have been allowing a lot of points, not getting a lot of pressure. We have in total of 3 interceptions so far. So it looks to me like our defense is holding us back. It looks like it's hard for us to put up points. And it's tough for us to stop the pass. We have excellent corners. How is this possible? So let's get to week 9 and reevaluate the team. And we have made it to the trade deadline. We're 3-4. We just lost to the Commanders. And we've made it to the trade deadline, and it looks like Kyler Murray is lighting up the league. And the Chargers welcome in the Chiefs. What has Kyler done so far this season? As Herbert hasn't thrown a touchdown pass in a while. Well, Murray is doing the same thing like he was a season ago. A lot of turnovers, low touchdowns. And it looks like our offense is now kind of taking a little bit of a step back as our defense is stepping up. They're just not in sync currently. Looking at our current contracts, we have $87 million. We have Budda Baker, Parrish Johnson, Carlton Davis, Trey Benson, McCaffrey. You know, not a ton of very important players, some. And then Blake Sherwood's 5th-year option as well. So, I mean, we have our left tackle and Parrish Johnson, who I want to keep, and Budda Baker, who I want to keep. For important position-wise, I'm going to try to get this contract done here with Parrish Johnson. I want him for the next 6 years. So, $160 million over the next 6 seasons. Parrish Johnson does sign. So, that leaves us currently with $60 million to work with. And I'm gonna be moving. I think, you know what? We're not in this state right now where I don't know how good this team will be. So for players like Carlton Davis, Trey Benson, and even Max Moulton, they all might be traded right now. For Budda Baker right now, 31 years old, he is going to regress, guys. For right now, though, it looks like he has a lot of motivations to be here. And I do want to keep Budda, but I would only really want to keep him for 2 seasons. And maybe he would sign this for the next 2 years. Let's see. Up the years and I'm back. So he wants the 3-year deal. I don't know if I'm going to be giving that to him, so I might give myself one more chance. But I am going to be making a trade. I'm going to trade away a couple players, and we might try to get a first-round pick back for this team. And another big deal here in year 3. Traded away Carlton Davis, Trey Benson, Max Moulton, a 3rd-round pick, and a next year's 6th-round pick to the Cleveland Browns to welcome in Elijah Fletcher, as well as obtaining a 1st-round pick this season. Fletcher for the Browns has not been good, and we are giving ourselves now a very young, talented pass rusher who, honestly, for whatever reason, just was not working in Cleveland. Very excited to have him on the team. I think he's going to be a fine player, and actually, he was playing very well for that. hey, I put in, the trade offers. They did not want Elijah Fletcher anymore. Maybe he's having off the field issues, but he's now coming here, who's an excellent sack playmaker for us. And we just booster up this young defensive line. Now adding in Elijah Fletcher, trading away a couple of other assets. So let's get through the rest of this season. We'll probably get past week 13 beforehand. I don't know just yet. Well, we've made it to week 13. We're currently 6-5, and we get to see now the playoff picture. The Cardinals are right now the 4th seed, so first place currently in the division. We're holding up strong, guys. I mean, it's definitely been a battle, and it's still a very tough division and it's going to kind of come down to the wire here. As how have we got to this point here? Justin Herbert's having an okay season, 15 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 70 completion percentage. Been sacked 15 times. Running wise, we've done okay. Rashad White has taken over as the primary back. No more Trey Benson. I thought Benson could have broken out, but he never really did for us. Marvin Harrison Jr. has put up quiet numbers. Michael Wilson, same thing. He's been injured. He's missed a couple games. Wayne Brentford has kind of played well. The passing game, the offense just does not seem to be clicking right now. The offensive line-wise has been playing very well, and I want to highlight this. Our rookie starter has also been playing excellent for us, and he has star development for us. So currently, we're looking solid, but I think we kind of need some more help across the board. Sack-wise, Elijah Fletcher leads the way for us, but no one else is really stepping up across this defensive line. We're good at stopping the run, but pass rushing wise, we're struggling. We've gotten a couple interceptions, even our rookie, so Orlando Thomas here. So I don't know really how this team is going to play moving forward for the rest of the season, but let's see. We have a few more games to go. Week 13 versus the Seattle Seahawks, and we lost 28-20. That's definitely not good for us. Well, actually, no. Everyone else losses, looks like. So, we're in an okay position. Now we have the Ravens here. So we have 4 more games to go through. Now back-to-back losses, that really hurts, because now that puts us all the way at number 10, the 10th seed. So let's sim now here to week 17. Let's see if we can somehow, some way squeeze out a couple victories here. And a collapse is currently happening here with the Cardinals. 2 more games to go if we lose here today. And 3 straight losses, and the Niners have gone on a little bit of a winning streak. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna finish this year well. So let's sim the next couple weeks. Well, after a very promising start, I would say, to the Justin Herbert era, we finished the year with a massive losing streak. We did beat the Rams in week 17, but we finished the year with a 7-10 record. Defensively, it looks like we started to play a little bit better throughout the season, but the offense struggled. Herbert, by the end of the year, was not playing particularly well, and I just don't understand. Is it the offensive line that's the issue? Is it the playbook I'm using? I don't really know. But Herbert threw 24 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. That's a lot better than what we were getting from a year ago with Kyler Murray. But still, Rashad White, 700 yards rushing, 7 scores. He looks solid. He had a solid campaign. Nothing to, he's nothing to write home about. But running back might have to become a need for us, or an upgrade potential for us. Daniel Johnson here scored 8 on the ground. Herbert also rushed in 2. Marvin Harrison Jr. had 900 yards, 4 scores. Michael Wilson put up 800 yards at 5 scores. Trey McBride had a down season. Wade Rayfield here had a solid rookie campaign. Zachary Moore played a little bit more snaps for us. And in terms of this offensive line, you know, I will sit here and say it. I think last year we were not good because of Kyler Murray, and the offensive line struggled due to Murray. But that offensive line didn't play bad for us, so I don't really know what the issue is. So defensively, see that Elijah Fletcher steps up. Brian Proceeds had a good season. Sack-wise, we got to be able to figure out this pressure because, you know, we're paying Michael Haynes a lot of money, and he's not playing well either. Few interceptions, tough to see. Not enough. Let's see any sort of rewards for us. We're just going to go through this pretty quickly because I don't expect to see any Cardinal. And we don't. So let's get to the Pro Bowl list and see if we have any Pro Bowlers. Any Pro Bowlers here for us? Nothing at quarterback, nothing at running back, nothing in terms of receivers, tight ends, and nothing in terms of the offensive line. Defensively, Elijah Fletcher did make it, so that's nice to see. But he did that mostly due to his time in Cleveland. And he is the only one. So the player that we traded for produced at least a little bit for us. And let's go see who's in the Super Bowl. And this time it's Lamar Jackson beating the Philadelphia Eagles in the Bird Bowl. 24-21, Lamar Jackson is your MVP, as the Eagles have made it over the last handful of seasons, 3 times out of the 4. So tough to see. But the Ravens are the new champs, and we're now entering into year 4 with a good amount of money and hopefully a way to take this team to the next step. I think when focusing on the interior of this offensive line, maybe getting another playmaker could help, and helping out the defense, especially in the front 7. But yeah, guys, I hope you've been enjoying this rebuild. It's been a lot of fun for me. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, like the video, and I will see you in the next one.